I'll start the podcast by saying I've been drinking. This podcast is brought to you by the letter D for drank.
I think you mean drank.
I said drink.
Oh, you said drank? I
said drink.
I don't think there was enough pronunciation.
Son, my vocabulary is dank, so stop being such a drag. Because this episode is brought to you by the letter D.
That just reminds me of that one person who kept on letting us know that he only listened to the podcast while drunk. So you have kin, you have family in that person.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not drunk. Or unfortunately, depending who you are, I've only had a couple sips. So
what you're saying is, as we progress, as we go through,
I'm not going to be pounding a 40.
You don't know that.
I don't know.
You don't know that.
Right. I don't know that.
But anyway.
But brought to you by the letter D, and I'm going to give you the D. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know what you're saying. Please explain.
I'm saying if this was Sesame Street, I would literally hold up a D and then give it to you.
Okay, well, I'm glad we're not Sesame Street. Anyway.
No, we're much cooler than that.
We are, and this podcast is coming, at least from my end, from my beach apartment, the one that I talked before, that my grandpa died and gave it to us, which was pretty damn great. Not the dying, the giving it to us part. And
did you actually know him?
Yeah, of course I did.
Okay. Was he a nice man?
Yeah, he actually gave me my first Land Before Time, like the original VHS, like the original Land Before Time, directed by Steven Spielberg. He gave me that movie, and that got me interested in paleontology, which got me interested in animals, which got me to where I am now. So
I guess nature does find a way.
Nature finds a way. But anyway, the point is, as you can hear from the background, I'm like in the lobby-ish area thing, like a separate room that has Wi-Fi. So pardon the signal, the bad signal from like him over to me, the cognitive gamer, over to me, cool guy, which we haven't said our names in a while. So cognitive gamer to me, because I'm the one recording, so I'm the one receiving the signal. So if it gets messed up, it's totally my fault. And you will also hear a little bit of echo, probably on my end, as well as the beeping noise of elevators. So this will be a fun episode, and people talking.
Whatever.
I fully expect random people to walk in, stare at me, and then walk right out. So
wait, you're like in a common area?
Yeah, I'm in the common area that has Wi-Fi. I don't have Wi-Fi in my apartment. We are rustic in my apartment. We have like an N64 and a tube TV, okay?
Oh my god.
It's fantastic.
Like is there like a floral print on the walls? Oh god, there is, isn't it?
It's only a little bit, but all of the walls are like completely covered in wallpaper, so that's close enough.
Oh man. So anyway, cool guy.
Yes.
I'm the cognitive gamer / V Mafia /
V Mafia on Reddit if you want to find him and
Whoa.
You literally said your Reddit name like a number of episodes back. I said you never say your Reddit name, and you said I don't care. V Mafia. So why are you all of a sudden backpedaling?
Well, the funny thing is the way I spell me V Mafia on Reddit is different. So I'm not gonna. So it could be a different V Mafia.
Could it?
I don't know. If it's the one that's really active on YuGiOh forums, then whatever. It's probably me.
If it's the one that posted a picture of a really, really badly made McDonald's cheeseburger, you probably have the right guy.
I've gotten to the front page 3 times.
I hate you also.
One for a cheeseburger, one for a giraffe, and one for a raccoon. Just keep this in mind. The internet is for idiots.
It is. You're
yes.
Right. Yeah.
Unless you're on the internet listening to us right now, then you're a genius because you're listening to PostGrad Movies, the number 1 million podcast for movies.
Actually, last week when we did, not last week, but like a little bit back when we did the 50th episode, we got to like number 70 something on Automatic. So that's not
doesn't roll off the tongue as well as number 1. We are the number 77th podcast.
The point is, we are not bad. That is what we are. We are not bad.
We're not good.
Hey, good. Eventually.
We just need that one big break. We need one of us to like become friends.
You should die.
I don't think that'll.
No.
No, we need to like land an awesome interview with like Quentin Tarantino or some actor.
Oh, that'd be great.
And then it blows up on YouTube. I think it has to blow up on YouTube because there's no chance in heck it's gonna blow up on Podomatic.
Oh, no way. Definitely not. Anyway, how was your week? Tell me about your week.
My week. Well, I'm done applying to grad school.
Ooh.
I'm done running participants for my study.
Mm.
So I've taken the last week to do nothing. Well, that's not true. I'm doing homework and stuff. But it's nice that now I don't have to wake up every day and go someplace. I can wake up. I can make pancakes. I can go to the gym. I can just walk around in my bathrobe, pour myself some milk and vodka.
Don't you just live with like 2 girls?
Women. I live with women.
Well, I'm just wondering because you said walk around in your bathrobe, so.
Whatever. One of my roommates, she walks around in bras and gym shorts every day. It's cool.
And how is that?
It's whatever.
I'm just wondering because, your fiance doesn't listen to this podcast, so you can totally just let me know.
It's so sad. No, she has a long-term girlfriend who enjoys our podcast, by the way.
Oh, nice. Really?
Yeah, not on Podomatic.
Oh,
she listens to it. She listens to it through the walls, and she finds it highly enjoyable.
That's not terrible.
Which means she finds me highly enjoyable. High praise.
Oh, good. I'm glad that the person through your walls is telling you that we're good.
So yeah, her and her girlfriend, yeah. It's not like she's walking around in lingerie, I guess is my point.
I mean, I guess that's fair.
Not like trying to act. It's just more comfortable, and it's weird right now in Philly because the weather fluctuates between like really hot and then really cold. So like trying to get the apartment to the right temperature is very difficult.
That's fair.
It's not like Colorado where it would be like 1,000,000 degrees at 1 o'clock and then snowing by 3 o'clock and then normal temperature by night and then by 1 a.m. it's like raining lightning.
That's fair.
And then everything's on fire. Yeah, it's very stagnant.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel really accentuates the murders that happen in Philly.
Okay.
Probably same with Puerto Rico. The weather's probably exactly the same every single day. A lot of people die.
Yeah, see, like, well, here it's been mostly one of those things where it fluctuates between like 87 right now, since we're in the more rain season, so it fluctuates between like 87 and 85. It's ridiculous.
I'm jealous, but at the same time, I don't look good in shorts, so I'm not that jealous.
Don't you work out in shorts?
Why do I have to look good when I'm working out?
Okay, have you not seen the people, like, when you walk around in the gym, they're always like...
I wear a tank top that has a ninjas on it and Yukon basketball shorts.
Oh, wow.
And I fucking go ham, okay?
I've never heard the usage of that word in that way, and that was really weird.
I go ham sandwich, okay?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I've been drinking.
Do you?
The other big thing that's happened this week is I've realized that I have no money, and I had to sell some YuGiOh cards to afford life.
Oh my God! Really?
Yes.
Were they ones that you like really, really wanted?
They're very pretty.
Most importantly, I'm asking, are they the ones that I gave you?
No.
Okay, good.
I did sell a couple that you did give me. I know. But
were they good or were they...
Oh, no. But they didn't fit anything I had. I was just like, well, it's either I can pay $400 and invest in this deck, or I can just sell it for $20. So I sold it for $20.
That's fair, yeah.
I'm sorry, cool guy. I should have. Don't worry. I'm currently packaging together your Christmas gift.
What?
/ birthday gift. And it should be awesome. Just give it a couple weeks because there's a couple more things I need to get for it. Including the Left Behind soundtrack, which is just Nick Cage, kind of sighing a lot, like,
should have known, like,
yeah, which is weird.
It's basically what we have sitting around because like we couldn't send it to the people for the Halloween scary giveaway.
Yes, because I bought that gift basket.
We have all of those movies just lying around, so one of us better get it.
Yeah, probably you. It's funny because that soundtrack sounds pretty much like the John Wick soundtrack, except one has a little more like instead of you know, a little more a little more inflection
Does
with
it?
it. I don't know. But,
I just love the first time that Keanu Reeves spoke in John Wick, where all of a sudden I had a flashback to his early days and him just going like, "Whoa," and it was really funny.
when he had the dog, he was like, "Dog."
that was essentially what he was doing. He was just like, "You're a dog." Be Keanu Reeves.
My wife is dead, and you're a dog. My life sucks. Whoa, dude.
Oh man, bringing back memories of the sad Keanu meme.
It's so perfect.
It's so perfect.
So anyway, so I sold some Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Okay.
And with some of the excess money, I decided to invest in Magic the Gathering.
So you literally have no money. You sold Yu-Gi-Oh cards to be able to afford living, and then you decided to buy Magic cards.
Okay, two things.
I hope
you have no idea how much money I sold these cards for.
Okay.
I sold one card for $60.
Are you serious? Were you not going to use it?
No. Essentially, it's just a pretty version of another card.
Oh, okay.
And it's in high demand and it's extremely rare. And what the fuck am I going to do with that?
So wait a second. Was it like one of those secret rare cards, the super hollow ones?
Yes, it was a super hollow. Vanity's Emptiness. It wasn't quite 60. It was like 45.
That's impressive that they cost that much. I'm telling you, we should do that
Right.
that paper we were talking about.
It's weird, right? Because the economy of Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic is largely
user controlled, basically.
User controlled. Well, the difference would be Magic. The U.S. gets it first, right? So Wizards don't have as much control on where to put the rarity of such cards. For instance, some of the best cards in the new set are commons. They're just normal cards.
Wait, in Magic?
In Magic the Gathering, because they come out in the US first.
Right.
So I'm sure if they wanted to sell more packs, etc., they would have made the better cards a higher rarity.
Okay.
Which is what Konami does with Yu-Gi-Oh! Because those cards come out in Japan first. They know what cards are going to do well. They know what cards are going to be high in demand. And it's not uncommon for Konami to change the rarity of cards when they import it to America. For instance, there was a card, I believe it was most of the Shadal trap cards. One was a common in Japan, and when it came to America, they made it an ultra rare.
Oh, really?
Instead of being $2, it's a $35 card, or was at its peak, and now it's about $25, which is still nothing to like. You need 3 copies of that card, like that's $100.
Right.
Which I sold. Like that's craziness.
It is.
I think the biggest difference would be Yu-Gi-Oh gets a lot more reprints than Magic. Magic gets reprints, but it's not as rampant. So Magic would get cards and prices will steadily go up, while Yu-Gi-Oh will have this crazy spike and then just drop in months. So it's like this weird user-created wealth of this time constraint, right? Because they know most of the good cards are going to get reprinted.
Yeah, right.
But it's the time until it gets reprinted.
So they want to like get the most out of the cards while they're rare and while they haven't been reprinted. Like squeeze them out and then sell them really quick before they get reprinted, basically.
Exactly. For instance, Dracosack,
of course,
which is a level 7 XYZ, and we just lost everybody who listens to this podcast.
This has happened various times. I think if you're new to the podcast, you should realize that in the beginning we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh. I used to play it. I don't play it like really regularly, but he does, and I like talking about it because it's interesting to me from like a scientific perspective and also from a fun perspective. So anyway,
which is why I like it as well, because I suck at playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I am not good at Yu-Gi-Oh. But anyway,
you're way better than I am, though. You know the cards, like you know a lot of them.
Yeah, but you're not bad. Anyway. Point is, so the interesting part about this is a $70 card. At its prime, when it first came out, it was easily $150. It was reprinted, and now you can get it for $20, no matter what version it is.
Really?
Even the original. Just so, because it is a time-sensitive, market-dependent, and also what's doing good. At this format currently, there are very little decks that play this card. There's nobody who needs it. So it's like this supply-demand and this time it's supply and demand at its core, right?
Yeah.
The supply is low when a set first comes out, and the demand's very high, so you can sell very high. I mean, right now there's a deck called Clifford's, which just came out. It's topping every tournament,
Really?
and you need to run 3 copies of a secret rare, with each of them going for like 60, 65.
Wow.
So just to have the core card in this deck, if you want to run this deck, you're looking at easily $200. You're probably looking for this complete deck. You're probably looking something closer to 400.
Couldn't someone like become an enormous like sort of black market dealer of Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Like, are there people like that?
Black markets, no, because why would you want to black market it when you could just make so much profit off of it?
Well, that's what I mean. Like,
Right.
like a person that just goes out, buys a ton of packs, and like sort of mines the rarest cards, and then like
Yeah.
controls a big portion of them and tries to sell them out at either hyperinflated or teensy bit lower than normal areas. There's people like that.
Oh, totally. I mean, card shops are a little less like that. They're like that as they'll, but they're more like pawn shops
Right.
where they'll buy super low, but it's money right there.
Yeah.
Other players, of course, operate like that as well. But yeah, there's a guy who essentially bought a case of cards, and he was just trying to make his money back selling cards.
Okay, wait,
and
wait.
he was able to make a profit.
Wait, he bought a case? Is that bigger than the box that I got you?
It's like 100 of those.
Oh, that is a lot.
Yeah, but he got it for like $700.
That is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, which is weird because you got to think that you're not going to make your money back, right?
Yeah, or that like you got to be really careful because you might make your money back, but you also might not.
Exactly. And
That's a
can you
big
make
risk.
yeah, so that's really what it comes down to. It's like there, and it's also it more comes down to like predicting what's going to do well at big tournaments, right?
Yeah.
If you can predict that a certain archetype or a certain card is going to do well at a tournament, you can buy them when they're low and then sell them back. For instance, the card I sold for $45, right? If the common version of that was still at its peak was selling for about $40, but with the hint of a reprint, that price plummeted.
Oh.
It went down to about 17. If you bought it at 17, you're now rolling in like a $20 profit because that card shot back up when they realized the reprint was super, super rare.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
And it's a card that's pretty much played in every single deck. So, like, if you had the forecast to buy that card, you could have bought a bunch of them and then sell them for like easily a $10 profit each.
Right, but then again, like there's a big risk involved, you know.
Oh, totally. There's a risk that the reprint would have came out and
It would have been rare.
And it would have just plummeted even further.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
Exactly. So I mean, there's definitely a risk reward type of thing. I mean, there was a card that was on a ban list that was unbanned. Nobody saw it coming.
Oh, Regeki.
And the card's price Regeki and also Glow Up Bold, YuGiOh Guardian. Like, if you can forecast these cards eventually coming back, and you buy the highest rarity, you can make a good profit.
Yeah, definitely. How much does Regeki cost now?
I think for a Legend of Blue Eyes, it's about $12.
That's not bad because I mean, back in the day, it just cost like what, cents, right?
Yeah, I mean it was in structured decks.
Yeah,
so.
right.
Yeah, I have a hollow. I kept that card because it's like my very first card.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, the card's nice.
Yeah.
I kept a lot of my cards, but anyway, so I'm getting into Magic now.
Okay.
And I bought myself a deck for very cheap. You can buy a meta deck for like a budget version of a meta deck for like $20.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, if Yu-Gi-Oh, a budget deck of a meta deck is like still probably close to 100. That is considered budget, which is fucked up. But also with the fact that I might be moving.
Oh, it's true.
To someplace rural, I looked to see if they had card shops, and they do, but they ultimately only play Magic. So I want to
get in on it.
Yeah, I want to make that jump so I don't lose my mind. If I have to live somewhere rural and I'm just married, this will give me an excuse to go out.
That's true.
Yeah, I love my fiance, but there are some nights where she just needs to stay at home and drink wine and read a book, and I need to go play Yu-Gi-Oh with smelly people. Or play Magic with smelly people. Like, it's all...
That sounds like a nerd's version of marriage.
That is marriage.
Is the missus moving out with you to the rural area?
If we're married, I hope so.
Yeah, I mean,
I've been drinking. No, she would. Yeah, she'd be moving. I'd force her to.
Oh my god!
Somebody has to make me my sandwiches. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. Oh my god, that's awful. She would kick my ass if she heard that.
Ooh, so
I've been drinking.
what was that thing you said originally? Now that we've crossed this border, what was that thing you said originally about, like, have you ever?
No, no. Cut it all. How was your week? It sucks because I don't have any control of what makes it into this podcast.
That was exactly what was being talked about right before.
We're cutting all of this. Cutting all of this.
My week was good. It was it was kind of like a little bit hectic and whatnot.
5-2.
I had to do a lot of stuff in like around campus and whatnot. Like it was registration and we had a lot of crazies happening. And also
what do you have to do for registration?
I realized, forget about registration. I realized that I hadn't updated you about what happened with my lab. You remember that I'd said that I was doing those crazy things with the lab?
Yes, with the coins and the dollars and the Monopoly.
Right.
Yes.
Sure. So what happened was the people from one of my sections have the little national treasure style thing, and my people from the other section have the coins, which they can like turn in for like maybe I don't know, changing questions or getting like scrambled answers on tests, which helps a lot. And it was working out great. But the thing is, from the beginning of the semester, I told my second group, my second section, the one with the tokens, I told them, if you can find out what I'm doing with my other section, with the one with the national treasure thing, if you can find out what I'm doing with them, I will reward you. And that reward will go up throughout the semester. So the first time I was like, I will give you 1 token if you guys tell me what's going on. And then after a while, I just showed up one day and I was like, I will give you 3 tokens. Then after a while, I showed up and I said, I will give you 5 tokens to whoever tells me. And it kept on going up, right? And in the meantime, my other section was busy with their National Treasure style thing. And they gave their secret society a name. Like they named themselves and everything. And they were talking to this contact, quote unquote, through like cryptographic means through a book in a library. And it was really like, it was cool. And so what ended up happening is that I think it was
stupid.
I think it was.
I'd be pissed if my teacher was like, my teacher's making me do a scavenger hunt for extra credit.
It's not a scavenger hunt. It's way more complex than that.
It's totally a
no. You don't. No, you don't understand. Like I will explain to you why it's more complex.
No, I get what it is, but it's
no. It's not a scavenger hunt. So initially, the first thing they got was like an email, a weird email. Then after that, they had to go like find a envelope that was dropped at a location, and that envelope contained a symbol and it contained a key. And then they had no idea what any of that was for. They got another message, and that message told them to go to the library to find like a specific book. They see the book, and the cover of the book contains a symbol like on the book, okay? And this book is really old looking and it hasn't been checked out since like 1975. And the book contains like a symbol, and that symbol has been appearing over and over and over again throughout like their sections. Like whenever we teach class, like it randomly appears and stuff like that, or it's been located on their microscopes and whatever. And in that book there's more cryptographic stuff.
So it's a fucking scavenger hunt.
And another symbol. No, just wait a second. And it's another symbol.
Okay.
And then basically after that, they basically had a couple more things, and then like there was radio silence for a while. And the reason why there was radio silence was because with my other section, I basically planted for my first section that there was like a society that was out to get them and sabotage them. And then with my section with the tokens, I kept on saying, I will give you more and more tokens if you tell me what the class is, what the other class is doing. And then all of a sudden, one day during class, I showed up and I said, I will give the person that tells me what my other class is doing 10 tokens. And 10 tokens is about halfway from eliminating a full question from the exam. And at that point was when all hell started breaking loose. And people were like, oh man, some of them were like, I know what they're doing. There were like 2 of them. And I honed in on them and I was like, oh, really? Do you know? I'll give you 10 tokens. And it was funny because everybody else in the class immediately was super altruistic. They were like, no, you can't do this to them. We don't know what will happen. Because in the beginning of the semester, I said, if you tell me, the other group will have consequences. And if they find out what you're doing, you might lose your thing, like the tokens. So you got to be careful. And it was like that. They were like talking back and forth, trying to figure it out. And then I was like, okay, fine. And I looked at the 2 people and I said, I will give you, like, whichever one of you 2 tells me, I will give you 15 tokens if you tell me what they're doing. And at that point, they were like, oh man, they really wanted to say it, but then the rest of the class wasn't getting anything. So they were immediately on the other people's side. And I said, okay.
Shouldn't you be teaching?
And and I'm not done yet. And then I was like, okay, how about this? I will give you, whoever tells me, 10 tokens and the rest of the class 5 tokens apiece. And at that moment, people started to turn on their fellow man. And the initial person was like, I don't know, but then there were like people like congregating around him going like, bro, you got to tell him. Like, this is for everyone right now. Then other people were like, no, we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't tell him. We don't know what might happen. Like, this is friendship or whatever. And then I said, oh, really? Like, there was one dude who was particularly altruistic. He was like, we can't turn our backs on these people. We don't know what will happen. And then I looked.
Was this all in Spanish?
Yes. And then I looked at him and I was like, okay.
No como?
No, and I was like, okay, how about this? I will give the person that tells me 15 tokens and everyone else gets 10. And at that moment, everyone that was altruistic was like, okay, nope, screw it. That's not, whatever happens to the other team is not my problem. This is awesome. We're getting.
Why would you act it out like that? You should have just let it play out.
I did.
Let them talk about it for a week.
I did. I let it play out through the entire lab. And then at the end, I started offering a teensy bit more. And that's when they broke because I wanted them to break at that moment. So basically, I egged them on, they broke, and they told me, enough for me to be able to pay them what I needed to pay them. And then now I revealed to them that now it got interesting because they are, in fact, the secret society that is sabotaging the other group. So instead of the tokens being awarded for answering questions, since the semester's almost over, the tokens will be awarded now for them doing stuff for me to freak out the people from the other section and to like
this is how you end up with dead people.
So basically I was like, okay, the other section, someone has a key. Whoever gets the key to my hands gets 10 tokens. So I've started like planting stuff like that for them to be able to go and get the stuff from them. And also I've been paying them in tokens to go to certain locations and freak out the people when they're trying to like make contact with the person. So now that you know that, we're going to move to the other group. So the other group hadn't received any message for about like 2, maybe 3 weeks, like 2.5. And then all of a sudden they get an email, and the email contained a link to a video. And in the video, which I made,
was PostGrad games.
No.
And our viewership went up 3-fold.
No. In that video, the person that was supposedly their contact, quote unquote, was like basically said, this is, like I haven't been able to contact you guys because they know who I am. They're trying to find me. I'm trying to lay low. Like, this might be my last video. I need you guys to like finish this on your own. I'm sorry, I can't help you out anymore. Like, I might not make it. And then at that moment, people burst in through the door behind him, grabbed him, and took him away. Right? So this entire thing was essentially like the video got automatically uploaded onto.
How'd you dress up your chihuahuas to grab you and take you away?
So the video got automatically uploaded onto YouTube, quote unquote, or whatever, and it got sent to them. And in that video, they said, what you need to finish this is at the end of the video. So it was like a message that was immediately stuck into the back of the video. And that was a thing telling them to go meet someone, another contact somewhere else. So that happened this last Friday, and they went to the contact, who was one of my TA friends, and I had set it up with him and everything. I gave him what he needed to give them, and I told him what he had to say or whatever. So like they were going to walk in, and they had one of the little symbols that they had picked up from the book. And basically the description of the YouTube video said, the symbol will guide you.
Cliche.
So no, I wanted it to be like that. I wanted it to be
I know you
National
wanted
Treasure / action movie. And basically they walked in, showed him the thing, and he went like, "How do you know who gave you that?" Like that kind of thing. Like, I've just, my cover's been blown kind of thing. And he's like, "Who did that?" Like, what are you? Don't show that around. Like, come here, just come here. And he brought like them into his office. He closes the door, and then he turns around and says, "What happened to him?" And they tell him about what happened to the guy in the video, right? And he goes like, "Oh my god!" And then he goes on this story about how the UPR has like a history of like Masonic and pagan stuff going on, which is true. It was founded by Freemasons. And he says, you have to go to the clock tower, because we have a big clock tower in the center. And he says, you have to go to the clock tower and you have to find this. And he turns around, pulls out a manila envelope with what I gave him, and he pulls out a symbol and he gives it to them. He says, this symbol will tell you when to meet next week with the next person that you have to make contact with, right? So they go to the clock tower, they see what it's pointing at, and there's symbols all over the place, and they find the symbol pointing at another symbol, and they find out that it's 3:00 next Thursday. And with the great
That's when you kill them.
And then no, just wait. And then the great part is, after they all left the building where the TA had met with them, he basically was like, do not tell anyone you were here. This meeting never happened, and you will never see me again. Like, you will never talk to me again. You don't know who I am, that kind of thing. So they walk out, and I had said to my other section, the token section, I will give each of you 5 tokens apiece, and I need at least 10 people to populate the area around and in that building and around that room, so that when they walk out, you literally shining them. You just stare at them like you know something that they don't know or something, and you're just freaking them out. So like wherever they walk, there will be people just staring straight at them, and they'll be freaked out with that. And then next week on Thursday,
that's how you get sued.
And then next week on Thursday, just calm down. What's going to happen is, again, super action movie cliche, but this is when it's going to go full action movie. So what's going to happen is they're going to show up to the clock tower.
Are we talking Michael Bay action?
No, we're talking like National Treasure action. So, because this is the twist. So what happens is they're going to show up to that location, right? And as soon as they show up to that location, they will find, one person in the center of the tower area. When they go up to him to talk to him, he's going to turn around and, oh no, it's the person that was in the video that got kidnapped. And the person's going to turn around and say, I'm so sorry, take this, run. And he's going to give them the last bit that they need to solve the puzzle. And at that moment, I offered tokens to my other class to dress in like masks and like black stuff or whatever.
Oh, this is how you get sued!
And they're going to like appear off of the corners, because like the great thing about the clock tower is that it's a giant tower and it's a big box on the bottom. So the box is open to on 4 sides, and they're just going to be sitting around that area hidden. And as soon as that happens and he says that, he's going to say run, and they're all going to pop out and start chasing them. And
this is how you get sued.
And they have to get away from the people chasing them. And then inside that envelope, there is going to be a QR code, right, with one last symbol. And they're going to go to that QR code or whatever, and it'll point them to a building that's abandoned, but there's a big open window that I went inside of, and I stuck a lock onto a certain area, and that the key that I gave them in the beginning is going to open that lock. So they hop through the window where I pointed them out. They open that lock inside that
in an abandoned building.
Inside that area, in an abandoned building, and inside that area, there's going to be a little tiny box with a riddle stuck on the top, and it's going to say in a lot of fancy words who is sabotaging you, and they need to spin the little numbers on it. And once they spin the numbers in the correct number, which I'm not going to say, they spin the numbers in the correct number to say who's sabotaging them. That will open up, and it'll be an invitation to hang out with me and the other group in a pizza party that I'm going to have, and that'll be the end.
Fucking stupid.
It's
that's like the worst ending ever.
You say, it's not.
No. The only ending worse than that is Interstellar.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be like an actual invitation or whatever. It's more going to be like coordinates, like math-based coordinates or whatever. So it'll be a little bit cooler than that. And then they show up, and I'm like, so who was sabotaging you? And I'm like, boom, correct. Come have some pizza. Let's have fun and enjoy like our last days before you guys have your finals. And then we'll all hang out, and it'll be fun. So yeah, it's more than a stupid scavenger hunt. It is a crazy adventure filled with all of the things you expect out of an action movie.
If this is in America, you'd probably have to get permission from the campus and maybe even some insurance to cover that.
Oh no, I plan on talking to the police guards around the area because I know a couple of them. So I plan on talking to them, being like, "Hey, so this is gonna happen. Don't worry about it."
Hopefully, none of them have guns.
Oh no, it'll be fine.
That is pretty cool, though. I'm glad you're doing that.
So can you see why it's a little bit more than a scavenger hunt? Because I didn't want it to be just
a scavenger hunt.
I didn't want it to be just a scavenger hunt. Would you?
It's a cool scavenger hunt, but it's a scavenger hunt.
So you would call
that the bad scavenger?
So you would call National Treasure a scavenger hunt?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I would call National Treasure a mystery, and that is what this is.
Oh dear God! It's a mystery. It's a scavenger hunt.
Wow. Oh, but yeah. Anyway.
I know scavenger hunt makes it sound juvenile and trivial, but it's not. It's just what it is. An action movie is an action movie. It's a genre of what you're doing. Now, if it's a good one or a bad one, that's subjective. In this case, it sounds like it's pretty awesome, but it's still a scavenger hunt.
All right.
So don't get caught up in the semantics, dick. Brought to you by letter D. I've been drinking.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, apart from that, I've been watching the X-Men movies, but as soon as we get to Days of Future Past, which should happen by next week, I will talk about that as a whole.
Did you watch Origins?
As a whole. Yes, I did. But don't worry about it. We will talk about that next week, though, as soon as I'm done with all of the X-Men's, because it's a lot of movies. But anyway, let us move into the actual movies that I watched this week, or that I watched one, and Cognitive Gamer watched two. So we will, and I apologize, we'll talk about Interstellar when we get there, because I really want to talk about something about Interstellar. But anyway, let's go. Let's start with Big Hero 6. Big Hero 6, right? On IMDb has an 8.4. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got an 88 with an 89% top critic score. And on Metacritic, it's got a 75%. It is directed by Don Hall and Chris Williams, and it stars Scott Adsit, Ryan Potter, Daniel Hensey, TJ Miller, Jamie Chung, Damon Wayans, Genesis Rodriguez, James Cromwell, Alan Tudyk, Maya Rudolph, and a bunch of other ones. So,
first thing I want to point off is that's a very diverse cast, and probably the most diverse cast Disney has ever had.
Yep, it's true.
All right, so one sentence reviews?
Yep.
You can go first.
Oh, I can go first?
You can go first.
Once again, Disney has given the wrong impression with the trailer.
Okay, Big Hero 6 is big fun with lots of heart. That's a box quote, damn it.
Are you serious? Like,
yeah.
That's your thing? Okay. All right, so
I honestly, the only complaints I have with this movie is that it falls into that it's a kids movie, so let's put some juvenile humor in there, which falls a little flat. I bet kids freaking love it, it probably tested pretty well with audiences, test audiences and focus groups. But I thought it detracted from. It was very dumb for kind of a smart movie.
Which sections of it? I kind of felt that way too, but which sections of it?
God. Fred as a character is pretty awesome, but there are just some things that I'm just like, ugh. And there's some jokes that were just fell flat.
That's
Yeah.
But
I'm sure kids loved it, Yeah,
right. Balala. That was really
that was great.
That was really funny. The character was fantastic. Let's just
yes. The character development in this movie was fantastic.
It was. And
the acting was great.
And the setting up of the robot as a character, the robot as a character was great. Baymax was fantastic. And the way he acted and the way he was great, because even when he was all souped up in his armor, he still walked with his really weird walk, and it was just great.
Yeah. I mean, he was still Baymax, right?
Yeah.
And that was what made this movie so good, because it wasn't like chubby nurse robot turns killer monster machine. That's who Baymax was.
Right.
Throughout the entire film. He just, at one point, had a rocket fist and wings, but he was still Baymax. It's like you personified a robot, right?
Right,
and,
yeah.
But you did it in a way that was... You didn't make the robot into a human. The robot was still a robot.
Yes, he was.
And I think that's what I enjoyed most about it.
Very much so. And it was great because when he was on low battery, he got drunk.
Right? It was just like, you should just act drunk. All right.
That was really great, especially the part when he was like, shh, and the guy was like, shh, and he was like, shh, and the robot was like, shh. It was so spot on.
Baby.
It was so spot on. The drunk robot was so spot on. I was like, I have seen friends of mine do this exact same thing. It was real.
Not me. I'm actually quite composed, I feel.
Not you, excuse me. What about that one day when we were hanging out and you disappeared and then you came back and you were wearing a lampshade on your head?
And, that was like,
and then
that was the one party. I could be not composed at one party.
And then I asked you, "Whoa!" And you said, "What?" And I said, "You're wearing a lampshade on your head." And you said, "Oh, I am." And I was like, "Yeah, you are." And you said, "I thought it was a hat."
And then I ate half a burrito that I found.
And then you disappeared for the rest of the night, and then you told me about how you ate half a burrito for no good reason.
I don't know whose burrito it was.
I know.
It still keeps me. I figured out it was Parker's, which is
okay.
I also ate blazing wings, and I didn't even know they were blazing.
But anyway, Big Hero 6.
Man, that was like the third time of me getting drunk, so just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Okay.
But anyway. So
yes,
Big Hero 6, I think it was actually, again, way better than the commercials made it out to be. The commercials just made it out to be like a normal, happy, fun time kids movie. Like,
but I mean, you couldn't show what made this movie have heart, because that would have, I think it would have given away too much.
I know it would have given away too much, but what I'm asking for is a trailer that shows a little bit more of a mature content, I suppose, like still kids stuff, but also that hint of mature content. It's like the trailer for Frozen. You know,
that was terrible.
It was so bad, and that it was, the marketing was just so bad, and I don't know. I think they wanted the kids to pull their parents to the movie, watch it, and then the parents would come in not expecting anything, get really impressed by it, and tell all their friends, which is a genius marketing strategy, but it's so stupid.
Yeah, but it makes money.
But I hate it. Like,
yeah, but it makes money.
I might have not even have gone.
Then don't pay attention to the trailer.
It's just, like,
trailers are made to make you spend money on the movie. Bottom line.
Yeah, but
they're not supposed to be mini films or whatever.
The trailer for Big Hero 6 wouldn't have made me want to spend money on the movie, like, period. But
I don't know. I thought the trailers, it had Fall Out Boy in it, so I was happy.
Yeah, but I mean, well, whatever.
I love Fall Out Boy. Big Hero 6 had Fall Out Boy in it, so I give it a Fall Out Boy out of Fall Out Boy, which is my highest rating ever.
Are you serious? I mean, it's no Gravity, but you know,
no, you know what movie is not Gravity? Interstellar. We'll get to that.
But no. So, okay, do you think that this would be a contender for the best animated movie of the year?
I haven't seen Box Trolls or Book of Life.
Book of Life was,
so I couldn't.
I do think Big Hero 6 was better than Book of Life, though. I haven't seen Box Trolls.
Neither have I. Yeah. So if I had to guess, that one would probably be up there as far as artistic.
Oh, also the little skit in the beginning was fantastic.
Oh, that was the feast with the dog.
Yeah.
Did you notice that their next movie about the fox, which comes out in like 2 or 3 years?
What next movie about the fox?
There's a movie about a fox coming out.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is it like computer animated like that?
Yeah, I think it looks similar to that art style.
Oh.
Anyway, so Big Hero 6, I think. You want to get into spoilers?
Yes, so let's go ahead and get into spoilers right now. So go for it.
Man, did you see his brother dying? I didn't see his brother dying.
I didn't think his brother was gonna die like that.
Like in a horrific manner?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But like as soon as they started really building their relationship, I was like, some gonna die. Like that's the first thing I thought. Because
someone's gonna get drafted into the military.
Yeah, see. Yeah, something like that, you know. But it was one of those things where also the bad guy kind of, like, the bad guy drama kind of came out of nowhere. Like the daughter was out of the blue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel that is one area this movie kind of fails at doing is, I think it should have revealed that teleporter thing maybe earlier, or hint at it better,
or maybe like
instead of it
had the
feeling
daughter
really rushed at the
have the
end.
daughter
Like
be
I
the
feel like
character.
it could have spent easily another 40 minutes.
Like I think if they would have basically had the daughter introduced as a character in the lab, in that in the brothers' lab, that would have been a lot better, don't you think?
Yeah.
Because if she
Or just hint at it or something. Like even when he was there, he never mentioned that his daughter died. Like nobody. I think people would know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That work with him every single day. Hey, I'm glad you're back. Is your daughter okay? Oh, she's dead. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even mentioned. So
They also didn't give you a time period for when the daughter actually went into the portal.
right. I mean,
It could have been right. It could have been right after everyone thought he was dead. It could have been before that. You like it. They didn't really. They didn't make that clear, and that kind of confused me. I was like, when did this
well, you
happen?
knew it was before. Well, you knew it was before.
Yeah, but even still, it was kind of weird.
Before the presentation, before he died, because that's why the distrust initially. He's like, I don't trust anything this guy does anymore because blah 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 blah. And it's like, oh, well, obviously, but I mean, yeah, it could have. I mean, it was recent, but you don't know if it was like 5, 10 years. Like, who knows?
Yeah,
Um,
right. It was just kind of weird.
also,
I don't know. That
yeah,
was
it
my
was.
one complaint. I think that felt the connection between Act 2 and Act 3 really got modeled. I think
It was very rushed. It was very. It wasn't The Incredibles, and I'm going to compare it to that because that was the last superhero movie that Disney did.
that's fair.
While they set up their villain extremely well, right? It was the very first scene had the villain, and that same exact like his motives were born right there. It showed an origin story, and it set up the characters very well. While in this movie, it seemed like it developed the main characters very well, but it lacked on the motives for the villain. Almost like that was an afterthought, right?
Yeah.
Like I guess they have to be fighting somebody.
That's actually a really good
So
way to
who do
look
we
at
make
it.
that?
I guess they have to be fighting somebody.
Right? And it was almost. I almost would have rathered it be some unnamed person, right?
Yeah, or even like maybe not even have a villain. Maybe like the villain is like I don't know, your inner turmoil or something like that. That would have made it a lot more mature, obviously, but also you don't need
I think you could have done that.
you don't need a physical villain. I mean, like we might be
Why not have his brother be the one that goes into the portal, and then have it be a revenge story? And then there's a
Oh
scene
my god.
where Baymax kills everybody in a hallway with a hammer.
Wow. That sounds
Yeah.
awfully familiar. So
Does it?
but yeah,
I
so
don't know.
it was
I don't know of what.
anyway, like the point is it was that's the part that really got me. Like the rest of the movie was great. And then spoilers, like major spoilers, when he was like, "Are you satisfied with your care?" I was like, "No, Baymax. I'm not satisfied with my goddamn care." I was like, "Don't you dare say yes. Don't you dare say." It was one of those moments.
It was really good. It wasn't extremely reminiscent of Avengers.
It kind
Like I felt like this movie was Avengers for kids. In fact, that should be my tagline.
of
Big
Avengers.
Hero 6 is Avengers for kids. I mean, it has a big group of heroes coming together over like a common loss and like looking out for one another, and then at the very end, one drifts into the void and comes back to Earth. It was the same fucking movie. There was a big black monster robot thing that surrounded a building and crushed it, and glass went everywhere. It's the same movie.
Wow, that is so. That could literally be Transformers, also like the third one.
Yeah, but we don't like to talk about that.
Oh yeah, no, but actually, that's a really good point. As a matter of fact.
And did you also notice they never said Marvel?
Yeah,
Even though this was a Marvel property. So
and
I wonder if that's just them protecting their universes. You know, like
just
Big Hero 6 will never be with Captain America.
right, they'll never intersect. So, did you stay for the after the credit scene?
No.
You did not.
What happened after the credits?
So okay, so after the credits, right? Spoilers. After the credits, the dude, the surfer dude, was hanging out like
Pratt.
he was speaking to the painting that had Stan Lee on it. Did you notice that the painting was Stan Lee?
No.
Really? That was the cameo.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw the painting with his family, I was like, "That's Stan Lee." And I obviously told my girlfriend that. I was like, "That's Stan Lee." And
she was like, "Shut the fuck
I basically went like quintessential Stan Lee cameo or necessary Stan Lee cameo, and And basically, at the end of the thing, he was talking to the painting, going like, "Dad, you'd be so proud of me. Why are you always so far away on your jobs, and like, why are you on your island and blah blah blah. Like, I just wish that I could hang out with you more. You'd be blah 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 proud of me, whatever." And all of a sudden, I think he touches the wall, and the wall like opens, and he's like, "Whoa!" And it opens up, and inside there's like a secret sort of like room with a bunch of superhero outfits and stuff. And he goes like, "What?" And he walks in, he starts looking around, and he goes like, "No way." And all of a sudden, as he's looking around, you get a shot from his face, and right behind him on the open door, his dad is standing there. And his dad walks up to him, and he goes like, "Son?" And it's Stan Lee, like his voice.
Right.
And he goes like, "Son?" And the guy goes like, "Whoa, Dad," or whatever. And then his dad picks up the underwear, and he goes like, he does the thing that the kid said. He was like, "Wear it front, wear it back, wear it inside out." That joke. And and then he goes like, "Dad, I miss you," whatever. And like he hugs him, and the dad says, "We have a lot to talk about," and it's over. So yeah, and then right after that, it says, "And introducing Stan Lee as the dad." And I'm like, Stan Lee is 91 years old. If he dies, you guys are screwed.
They literally can replace the voice.
I know, but still. So yeah, that's what happens. So they're basically setting up for a definite sequel, which is but
Civil Wars, Big Hero 6, Age of Ultron.
Oh my
for
God.
kids.
Could you imagine if they just set up like some sort of a portal or whatever, and then in Big Hero 6, like the end of one of the Big Hero 6 movies, they jump through it, and then all of a sudden in the next like Avengers movie or something, they come out live action on the other side? That would be crazy.
Like the SpongeBob movie?
Yeah, like the SpongeBob movie. Exactly.
The new one?
Exactly like that.
I would rather it be like Chris Evans goes through the portal. He's like, "Why is everything so colorful?" And then it ends.
Freedom, and it ends. Yeah, but anyway, point is, the movie. I like the movie.
Yeah, I like.
So, like, what would you give it? An 8.4, like IMDb?
Like an 8.
I would give it like
8.5.
8.5. Yeah.
7.5 to 8.5.
7.5?
Yeah.
That's too low. I would give it like an 8 to 8.
7.5 is a good movie. 7.5 is a really good movie.
Yeah, but I think it's more than just a good movie. It was very entertaining, and it got your feels, and I think that's it. Really, it.
I think I'm safe in saying that's an 8. Like,
yeah, I'm going 8.5. That's my thing. Like, I think it's better than good.
Yeah, but it was a very safe movie.
It was a very safe movie, but then again,
when I think of a safe movie, I think 7.5. Like,
it was a very safe movie, but at the same time, it still had some things that put it above average.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. I mean, yeah. All right. Okay.
Well, anyway, the next movie on the list is Interstellar, and let me just vent a little bit, because Interstellar was supposed to come out here in Puerto Rico. I was expecting it to come out on the same day as it came out in the US. But then it was announced that it was coming out on Christmas.
Why?
And that is a full month and a half after it got released in the US for no reason. And then everyone got pissed, and that date got moved for a month. So like to the 26th of November. And that still sucks, and I hate it. It's just so stupid. So I wasn't actually able to go see Interstellar, and that is really, really upsetting. However, Cognitive Gamer is going to talk about Interstellar a little bit, like give me a no spoilers kind of thing right now, and then after that, maybe next week or the week after, I will be able to talk Interstellar. So the talk with Interstellar will take place half today and then half another podcast. So Interstellar on IMDb has a 9.0. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 74 with a 70% top critic score. And on Metacritic, it's got a 74%. It is directed by Christopher Nolan.
The Nolanator.
Who you all know, obviously. And he
did Batman?
Yes, of course, and a bunch of other ones. And it stars Ellen Burstyn, Matthew McConaughey, Mackenzie Foy, John Lithgow, Timothy Chalamet, David Oyelowo, Colette Wolfe, Francis X. McCarthy, and Bill Irwin, and Hathaway, yada yada, a bunch of other people. So, with that out of the way, what is your one sentence review? I'm really interested, because we have not talked about it, and it has been a little while since you watched it. So, talk to me.
This is a tough film. I don't. Give me a second here. A movie that tries way too hard. It tries too hard to be smart. It tries too hard to be scientific. It tries too hard to say something. And it tries too hard to make the audience understand or not understand. And it's a movie that is as visually impressive as it is confusing and convoluted.
Okay.
There are moments in the movie that I literally could hear the other people in the audience's eyes roll just at how groan-inducing some of the dialogue and scenarios were. At the same time, it was also amazingly emotional. Probably one of the prettiest films I've seen in a long time. Visually stunning. Some of the best acting I've seen in a while. And a great soundtrack.
And with the grown
But just,
dialogue?
it was missing.
Huh, that's it.
Huh? Okay. I I can't talk to you. There's a certain point. It seems like a lot of the scenarios in the movie happened just because Christopher Nolan found the scenario to be interesting and maybe not so much for it to be a cohesive story.
That's fair, actually. Okay.
Right? So it was this emotional roller coaster of amazingly triumphant and just stupid, just utter stupidity that was disguised as being intelligent. It was like three kids stacked up wearing a trench coat trying to order a martina. A martina? And that's how they would order it.
Okay.
One alcohol, please. But I mean, it's about space travel and
okay.
quantum
quantum
physics.
Okay, so let me guess. Let me guess what happened. So
okay. I won't tell you if you're right or wrong.
So based on what you're telling me, and the fact that I know that they go in through either a wormhole or a black hole, there are several options here, considering that it involves faster than light travel. So I'm assuming that what happens is Matthew McConaughey is all upset because he's leaving his family, but it's to save humanity. So he goes off to the far reaches of space, goes in through the black hole. Let's say like it's basically like Star Trek, where they visit new planets every single time, and then they keep on coming back and forth or whatever, or receiving signals. And the people that he used to know grow older and or die because of time dilation. And then basically every time he's going somewhere else in another planet, he is having like philosophical musings and growing as a character with himself and the person that's on the plane or on the spaceship. Did I get it?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it was like there's definitely a part of that, but it's like this confusion of what this movie is or what Christopher Nolan wanted it to be. You're right with like the musings, and there's a part of that, but then it also goes full action and full Batman.
Really?
Like, no joke.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of action scenes, but then it goes back to like this weird philosophical type of dialogue, and then it goes into like this weird like Goodwill Hunting or God, what's that movie with Russell Crowe? A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah.
It goes like A Beautiful Mind all of a sudden, and you're like, what is going? Like, it makes sense, but it's like somebody took Donnie Darko and then every sci-fi movie and shoved it up the ass of Donnie Darko. Like, it. I don't know. It's one of his weaker films.
Okay. So where would you put it in between which two movies of his?
See, I haven't seen all his movies, especially his smaller ones. But from his bigger ones, I'd probably put it. I think Batman Rise. Batman is that
Dark Knight Rises? Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises. That's probably closer to the bottom of that list, and that's probably where I'd put Interstellar. Either on par or below.
Really?
Well, they're both good movies.
Yeah, they're
I'm not
both
saying one's
movies. That's what I was gonna say.
Right. I'm not saying like one's abysmal or not, but it's just like it's just you'll see. It totally makes sense and it's smart, but it just is handled in a ham-fisted way that kind of left a sour taste in my mouth.
Then again, you also don't like certain things in movies, so I'm thinking that I might enjoy it more than you did.
You're gonna think you're gonna enjoy it fully, and you're gonna think it's like the best movie ever because I know you, and this is totally up your alley.
Awesome.
But at the same time, I was just kind of like, all right, that was smart. Okay, why are you treating it like this? So
I feel like
anyway,
those are fair complaints, though. Like, really.
right, and it wasn't. I don't know. It was like almost cliche.
I mean,
It was a very good movie, but it wasn't anything groundbreaking, such as Memento or Inception, right?
right.
Which are very unique concepts and visually stunning. I feel like this movie plays it safe, hits the chords, moves on. So,
Interesting. So what you're saying
yep.
is this film ultimately will not be remembered. People will not be going like somethingception or whatever. Like,
I think the feelings of this movie will go up because the initial response to it was that it's not a great movie, but I feel over time that'll go up actually.
do you
Yeah.
think this movie is gonna get nominated for anything?
Visual effects,
Oh, okay, that's fair.
soundtrack,
Score, probably, right?
yeah, totally. Um, I don't know. I see that's the problem with this year because there's no obvious movies that have been fantastic. I mean, Gone Girl. This is in news, so we can get if you want to just move on to news.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. Let's move.
This actually
Let's
fits in
move on
pretty
to
well.
news, and then we'll do new on DVD and Blu-ray in theaters later. Go.
Okay. So recently there are the Hollywood Awards.
Oh yeah, right. The one where who was this guy? Johnny Depp was drunken.
Yes.
Yes.
But Gone Girl was actually the top film.
Oh really?
Right. Which is weird to think that Gone Girl would win the Hollywood Film Award because that movie wasn't amazing. I mean, Ben Affleck's in it, and everybody likes to suck his butthole. So, for some reason, Argo had no business winning that year. I'm sorry. But I mean, the movies that were shown to win there were Gone Girl, The Imitation Games,
Oh yeah, that's true. The Imitation Game.
which is yet to come out. It comes out this week with Benedict Cumberbatch. Guardians
Who's
of the
also
Galaxy won biggest blockbuster.
a fan favorite.
Yes, I think so. I think that actually moves things a chance.
Yeah.
A movie called Still Alice with Julianne Moore.
Oh really?
I
Still
haven't
Alice?
seen
I
that.
have not seen that one yet.
How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Oh nice.
Totally forgot that movie came out this year.
And that was a
I would probably
fantastic
say,
film.
yeah, that's up there.
Oh,
Right?
the feels in that movie. Oh, okay. Anyway, go on.
Unbroken with Jack O'Connell. Top 5 with Chris Rock. Foxcatcher,
Foxcatcher, really?
apparently. Imitation Games, Gone Girl, The Theory of Everything.
Yeah, Theory of Everything.
Wild won Best Breakthrough Director.
Interesting.
The Imitation Games. The Fault in Our Stars had Hollywood breakout performance. So Judge and Robert Duvall. I mean, of course.
Yeah, but it's like so. Wait.
Birdman won cinematography.
So wait a second. Wait.
Visual effects went to Transformers.
Wait. Oh my God, really? So wait, Birdman won cinematography?
Yeah.
Nice.
I would totally agree with that.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that Birdman should either win Best Cinematography, Best Director, and or Best Editing because of.
I think editing for sure, right? Or soundtrack.
That's true.
Oh man, the shocking one on this list I found wasn't just Gone Girl. It was Hollywood Visual Effects Award. Guess who that went to?
With Transformers, what you just said?
No, that was special effects, visual effects.
I don't.
So essentially, how pretty does the sets look?
Okay, which one?
The Grand Budapest Hotel, which totally makes sense.
It does totally make sense. Bright Buddha came out this year. Grand Budapest came out.
Yeah. Wes Anderson should win some shit.
He should, definitely.
Yeah.
Buddha was fantastic.
Buddha was great. He was such a great man.
All right, what other news do you got?
So we'll just start here. We'll start with sad and work our way to. Yeah. Glen Larson dies, the man who made Battlestar Galactica, Knight Rider, and the $6 Million Man.
Yeah.
He has passed away. So let's keep us. I haven't watched any of those shows, but I know he made a lasting impact, especially in sci-fi and early sci-fi. So
well, not the original Battlestar. That show was garbage.
Right.
But yes, the guy invented.
Well, he made both.
Yeah.
So
a lot of like crazy jumps in sci-fi. So that's fantastic.
Magnum PI as well, which is great.
That
Also sad, Quentin Tarantino swears that his 10th movie will be his last.
What? Why?
He made a pact when he first got into directing, saying that his 10th big film will be his last. So he's currently on number 8 with The Hateful Eight, and so he has 2 more.
I don't think I'm ready.
You know, I'm ready.
But we'll see. The thing is, like, all of his films have been great.
Yeah, don't worry. He'll have a triumph. He'll say that by 2022 he'll retire, and by 2040 he'll do a Clint Eastwood. American Sniper looks great.
It does look great, but still. Anyway, go on.
Another sad thing is that Chris Pratt passes on the Uncharted movie.
Oh, really?
Yes. Which is really sad because Chris Pratt's great and he's hot. But
wow,
why would he want to jeopardize? I mean, hot as in Hollywood, you moron. Like, he's the big actor right now. But why would he want to risk his career on a video game movie? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I can understand it. Though, supposedly, Mark Bowl, the guy who helped write Zero Dark 30 and The Hurt Locker, is penning the script to the Uncharted movie.
Really?
Which is incredible.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so that's crazy because this is a video game, and I mean it has a great. It's like National Treasure mixed with Indiana Jones, mixed with Tomb Raider.
That's true.
Mixed with Indiana Jones. It's essentially Indiana Jones with a more spunky lead character.
Yeah, right.
It's actually exactly like Indiana Jones. So it's but I believe that like what it does with like the historical parts of it, because he's like an archaeologist, but he's an archaeologist for profit. He's a treasure hunter.
Right.
Instead of Indiana Jones, who's Dr. Jones, that winds up on crazy adventures, Nathan Drake,
put it in a museum
from Uncharted, is all about getting rich.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there's a lot you can do with that because that series does have some interesting historical things that it plays with, and it also has a hint of sci-fi. Like at the end of the second game, spoilers, like you pretty much find Shangri-La.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. Another cool thing is that Sony rumors that there might be an Aunt May Spider-Man movie.
What? Really?
A movie about Aunt May. I don't know. I think that's a really interesting idea. If it went total like indie and it was about like this woman living with a superhero and like dealing with it like emotionally and
but she doesn't know yet that he's Spider-Man.
The target mood is some sort of espionage story in the vein of AMC's Mad Men, which sounds like the way of saying classier Agent Carter.
That is so weird.
Yeah. So far, Aunt May has been like, her son is like an espionage thing. So I don't know. If I think it's just I think it would make a great short story about a parent of a superhero and them like dealing with it and like having to sit him down after it's like that scene in The Incredibles where they tell his son not to like win at track but don't win too much.
Don't win too much.
Exactly. Like that's great.
Yeah.
But a whole movie and add some more drama and like depression to it. Like the son comes back with a stab wound and it's like, oh my god.
Right.
All this responsibility. All this great power.
Yeah, right.
Next set of news is Playmobile gets a movie.
Playmobile?
Knockoff Legos.
Oh. What?
They're famous for their Knights set.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. They're doing a movie. Yep.
It ain't gonna top the Lego movie. That movie was awesome. All right.
So. More sad news.
Oh God.
Hasbro and DreamWorks animation merger falls through.
Oh wow.
So Hasbro was in talks to buying DreamWorks for $2.3 billion.
Wow.
But DreamWorks said they wanted a higher number, something closer to $3 billion.
That would have been insane.
Imagine what you could have done. Like, you could have made a Monopoly movie.
That's ridiculous, though.
Man, I didn't know Hasbro was that big.
Neither did I.
Where they could shell out $2.3 billion like no one's business.
Yeah.
I have some good news to end this with.
Okay.
Do you remember Oldboy?
I do.
Do you remember how that movie had a director?
Yes.
Well, that director's next movie, Park Chan-wook's next movie is going to be a sci-fi thriller called Second Born. According to Variety, Second Born follows the story of a futuristic world where neural microchips are implanted into one's consciousness, leading to a black market body swapping.
Awesome.
So imagine Ghost in the Shell, but like totally Koreanized.
Ghost in the Shell plus Oldboy equals crazy.
Yes, I'm excited.
I am. Is it going to be like full Korean, just like Oldboy was?
I'm guessing so, yeah.
I just hope that their special effects are good, because the problem with movies that aren't rendered or that are done like somewhere else and they can't afford the rendering facilities in places like Taiwan or.
Well, there's some pretty big producers behind this. There's a producer for Nightcrawler, Stroker, That Awkward Moment, and American Psycho.
Oh, nice.
So there's some money and some talent behind this movie. I'm pretty sure they'll do it just fine. Besides, I feel like this would be closer to like the visual effects of Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah.
Kind of like low budget Mad Max-y, but in fact, it'll be Johnny Mnemonic because that's exactly what that movie was.
Right, yeah.
Was a black market where you have microchips implanted in one consciousness. This is just fucking Johnny Mnemonic, except with body swapping.
Yeah, right.
So, anyway. And crazy Oldboy director.
Right.
So.
Wow.
No, it's body swapping.
No. Spoilers, because I'm not going to allow that to be said out loud because that's the big part of Oldboy. So yeah, moving on to, because we're done, right, with news. Oh my god, just don't say anything. So
okay.
So new to DVD and Blu-ray in theaters this week. New to DVD and Blu-ray, we have How to Train Your Dragon 2, Jersey Boy
on Blu-ray.
Yes. Tammy, Let's Be Cops, Happy Christmas, Mood Indigo, I Am Ali, Deepsea Challenge 3D, Drive Hard, and Coldwater. So really the only one worth your time there is How to Train Your Dragon 2. And new to theaters this week, we also have the big ones are Dumb and Dumber 2 and Beyond the Lights. And in limited release, we have The Theory of Everything, Foxcatcher, Saving Christmas, The Homesman, Rosewater, Bad Turn Worse, and The Toy Soldiers.
Not to mention Mockingjay comes out pretty soon.
That's true.
And so does... What comes out the same day that's huge? Imitation Games.
Oh, that's true. Imitation Games comes out next week.
So we have Mockingjay, Imitation Games, the new Super Smash Brothers, and Amiibos all come out the same day.
Yes.
Next Friday is going to be cray.
It is definitely going to be cray.
It's going to be fry cray.
And it's going to be extra cray because it's going to be my girlfriend and I's month anniversary. So that's going to be extra.
That's so stupid. Don't celebrate your month anniversary.
And I'm going to make her to go Hunger Games because that's awesome. So anyway, with that, thank you everyone for...
You're not going to get a jewelry or anything,
to our podcast. I'm Cool Guy. And you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at The Right Pad. He is at Cognitive Gamer. You can also check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/PostGradENT, or you can check us out on YouTube, where we have a lot of game stuff, like the YuGiOh stuff he was talking about, also normal games, and our old podcasts with the fun stuff of being able to skip throughout all of our sections. Yeah, we also have an email. So if you want us to watch a movie or if you think that we sucked, you can email us at postgradentertainment@gmail.com. And really, if you want this grab bag of Nicolas Cage stuff, you should listen to our 50th and then do what it says there, right?
Also, please rate us on iTunes. Any type of viewership or anything that makes us stand out, good, bad, anything on iTunes would be appreciated.
Awesome. Totally.
So just look for us on iTunes, PostGrad Movies, review us, give us 5 stars, tell us that we sound sexy. I don't care.
Do you sound sexy though?
Do I sound sexy? What kind of question is that?
We'll see you next week.